The Amateur just dropped at theaters this weekend. Now, this movie was the big draw of the week, and I will say, I was both intrigued and leery going into this movie. I mean, Rami Malek as an action star doesn't really seem to pass the vibe check. But, as always, we go into every movie with an open mind and let the movie speak for itself. But before we get into the review today, make sure to subscribe as we have movie and TV content coming to you almost every single day of the week. Also, don't forget to let me know what your thoughts are of the movie down in the comments and what movies are you looking forward to seeing coming up later this year. Now, let's get to the review. If you don't know the premise of this movie, Sarah, the wife of Heller, played by Rami Malek, was taken hostage and killed by some bad dudes who could probably be classified more as terrorists. Heller is a genius who works for the CIA in a desk job. And when the justice he is seeking for his wife's murder isn't happening the way he hopes or thinks it should, he takes things into his own hands and goes after these bad guys to get the revenge he feels he deserves. He gets some training from Henderson, played by Lawrence Fishburne, and gets some help along the way by several unlikely people in this action thriller. Now, the plot of this movie is good. It flows very well from start to finish and has some really good pacing. There really weren't any slow points. Overall, the plot is complex enough to keep you guessing with several twists and turns along the way, but it keeps it simple enough to not get bogged down and convoluted by just stuffing a bunch of extra stuff into it. It really is a good balance. They really could have fleshed out the plot and story a bit more for the bad guys and the big bad in general. The big bad is mentioned and talked about throughout the movie, but we really don't get much info or depth to his character. Now, what we don't get in depth to the big bad's character, we get depth in spades to Rami Malek's character Heller in this emotional roller coaster that he is on throughout this entire movie, dealing with the death of his wife and trying to seek the revenge that he feels he deserves for those who killed his wife. This movie is not your typical action flick. Now, don't get me wrong, there is plenty of action in this movie, but it doesn't necessarily come in the traditional packaging that we're used to seeing in normal action movies. Now, with Heller being a genius desk worker and not much of a fighter, we see that he uses some very unique and interesting ways that he looks to take down those who killed his wife. The acting in this movie is fantastic. Rami Malek does a superb job bringing his character to life. He really makes you believe that this underdog might actually have a chance to get the justice he deserves despite his limited physical abilities. Lawrence Fishburne does a good job and has some really good action and hand-to-hand combat sequences. We also have Jon Bernthal in this movie, and I absolutely love him as an actor and an action star. And I was really looking forward to seeing him in this movie. That being said, I was a bit disappointed in his character. Now, this has nothing to do with his acting, as he's a great actor, but has everything to do with the part that was written for him. For one, he's barely in this movie at all. Maybe only 3 or 4 scenes at the most, and no action scenes. How can you have no action scenes for Jon Bernthal? It really was a waste of a character for him. He was very forgettable, and this role could have easily been played by any lesser-known actor, and it wouldn't have taken away anything from this movie. It really was a waste of Jon Bernthal's talent and action prowess. I really would have loved to see a lot more of him in this film. Now, overall, this movie is very solid from beginning to end. There are a couple areas that could have been improved upon, which we've already talked about. But the movie was highly entertaining, and one I can see myself watching a few times more when it comes out to streaming and on TV. I would give this movie a solid 7.5 out of 10. Now, this was the third of 3 movies I had seen at the theater this day, and it was still able to keep and hold my attention throughout the entire film, which is a testament to how good the film was. It definitely is a movie you should go see, whether it's at the theater or when it comes out to streaming. Hey, if you enjoyed today's movie review, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Come check out our shorts content and make sure to come back next Tuesday for my review of the movie Drop. While you're waiting, why don't you check out this video right here. Have a great day, everyone, and I will see you in the next video.